Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. A lot of you guys have been watching my why I switched to a Bible journal, and I really wanted to make another Bible journaling video for you guys because you're really interested in that one. So for today's video, this week in my Bible time with my Bible journal, I want to test out different highlighting, marking, writing mediums and share with you guys which ones are my favorite, which ones I like the most, so that you can decide what you want to try in yours. And I know there's a lot of really fancy brands out there and a lot of really high-tech tools, and right now I'm not really at a place financially to buy, you know how some YouTubers buy all the really expensive ones and they try them all so that you can know where to invest. I'm not going to do that today. What I'm going to be doing is showing more things you already have in your house, what's going to work the best. So, I believe today we're going to be testing colored pencils, pens, markers, crayons, and a type of highlighter. If there's another one, I will add it right here, and I guess you'll see it in the video. I'm kind of scared, honestly, to test some of these things out in my Bible, but I'm going to do it so that you don't have to. Thanks for coming. Make sure if you like this video to like it, and if you want to see more Bible journaling video, to subscribe, because I'm going to be posting all of those. Enjoy the video. Okay, so first I'm going to test out these Prismacolor colored pencils. These, combined with my pens, highlighting with one and writing with the other, are what I use the most on my own, but today I'm just going to show you one at a time to really show you your options. So this is a 12 set, however I also have a 24 and I've borrowed a few colors from there, and depending on your color code you probably just need your primaries and maybe a pink or a purple if you want. I'm going to be reading in Philippians chapter 4 for a small group that I'm in, and I'm going to test out these colored pencils during that. So you can see what the colored pencil looks like. I really miss having a pen to write with because this writing is just not as clear as I want it to be, and I feel like I can't write right next to the text if I wanted to. However, if you kept a pencil sharpener handy, I don't think you'd have too much of a problem writing. But overall, I just really love the colored pencils. They act as such a great highlighter because they have no risk of bleed through. It's really easy to control the lightness or the darkness depending on what kind of pressure you use. And these Prismacolor colored pencils are just as smooth as butter. So I guess just get a great pen to write with and you're set. Now these pens that I have, I believe are a ballpoint pen. They have a really thin tip. It's actually a 0.38 millimeters, which is the smallest pen I've ever bought. And that's actually why I bought them, because I really like writing with small tips. I don't have a lot of marking here with the pens because it's the end of the chapter and I didn't have as much to write about, but I do really like these pens. They're super thin, which is great for underlining or circling without covering any text, and they allow you to write very small to conserve your space in your margins too. So these would also be great if you don't have a very large margin because you can write so small with them. The only downside to using a pen is that you can't highlight it with it, obviously, but if highlighting isn't your thing, then you're good to go, or if you just grab a different type as your highlighter, then these pens work great. This morning I've got a couple different mediums to try, so we're going to check those out. Okay, let's check. Okay, I have my coffee this morning and my breakfast. Thanks, Mom. Doesn't that look good? It is. Okay. It is day 2, and today I'm in the book of Genesis for a different Bible study that I'm a part of, and we've been reading this book all year and are nearing the end of it. So our first medium today is crayons. These are just a standard Walmart $1 crazy art crayon that I got last year when school supplies were on sale for like 50 cents or something. I'll probably write with them a little, but I don't think they're going to work very good for that, and I'm honestly more interested in how they're going to work as a highlighter. So I guess let's check it out. Hopefully you can kind of see what the crayons look like. It's not bad, but it's not also my favorite. The writing is not good. It's pretty jank. It's very waxy and clunky feeling to write with, and to be honest, underlining isn't that easy either. Again, it's not bad, but because of the wax base, you can't use other mediums with it, like if you wanted to circle with a pen over the top or anything. And I just feel like the crayons flake kind of weird, and I don't like that, and they're not great for circling, but they do the job with highlighting. It's really not that bad, but I don't like it that much when compared to other options. Hopefully you can kind of see what that looks like here. Again, you can see that the writing was a no-go. Unless you have like a super sharpened crayon, I just think it's too big. And my first attempt with underlining was really off, so make sure you have that crayon edge lined up properly because it can get really thick really fast. So that's kind of my verdict of the crayons. Not my favorite, but if you need something for highlighting and you had a pen for writing next to you, it'd be fine. An easy way and a simple way to start Bible journaling is just to grab a regular pen or pencil. Or maybe you don't like having a lot of colors or having color codes, and you can just take your pen or pencil with you. That's easy, that's simple. And I'm just going to do a little bit of that right here so you can see what those might look like if that's something you want to try. Honestly, I do really like pen. I haven't used a pencil a lot before because I'm more of a pen person in general, but I do really like the pen. There have been many times when I'm just too lazy to get out all of my colors, and so I just use a pen and I circle and I underline and I write, and it works so well. It's definitely one of my favorites. And if that's the kind of medium you're into, the only problem I can think of is that when I want to highlight a word, I can't. But if you don't want to highlight, you're good to go. So I would really say that I do like the pen and the pencil. It's very nice, it's very subtle. If you just want that nice, subtle accent in your studying, in your Bible, where it's not going to make a huge impact on the words or visibility, you can see how the pencil blends really nicely and you're able to write small if you have a small lead. And I think this is a really great option for people that are new to writing in their Bibles and just want to start simple, want to start small. I really like the pen too. You have everything you need, like I said before. And it's nice you don't have to constantly be switching between different mediums and different utensils and different colors. But I do find it nice to be able to highlight a word here or there, and that's not something I can do with the pen. So overall, I really like both of these, and they're especially really nice for a person who's nervous about doing all the color or just wants to get started with something simple and easy and subtle. It also is very uniform, which can look really nice too. Okay, one more medium testing for today. These are Sharpie highlighters, and I've seen a lot of people use these, but I've never actually tried them for myself. A lot of people say they don't bleed through, so I guess we'll see if that's true or not. I do like them. They have very nice, light, bright colors, and they might be a little bright for me, but let's test them out. And just to compare, you can see that my writing is visible through the page, just comparing that to a pen from yesterday. I can see through to the other page's writings, but it's not super obvious when you write over it. But it is something to be aware of so that we can properly compare that when we are doing stuff with markers, so we can see, okay, how much of an impact this is. But these pages are really thin, so it's not a big deal to me to have a little bit of that showing through. I think that's going to be normal. So I thought I clicked the time-lapse button, but apparently I didn't, or it didn't film it for some reason. So I don't have any of the process footage. So here we are. I already did it all, and it's too late for me to refilm it. But I really like the Sharpie highlighters. They're definitely not thin, but they do a good job. If you use the wider, thicker side, you can get a really nice highlight over the full line. And if you use the thin side, you can get a pretty nice underline. And let's check the bleed through. Okay, this is honestly really good. I was expecting it to be a little bit worse maybe. It's not really worse than any of the pens would be. And you can see that the Sharpies bleed through a little bit on the dot, like starting or finishing, but really not that much. So that's really encouraging, and I honestly really do like them a lot. I didn't use some of the darker colors, like the blue I know is a little bit darker, so I'm not quite sure what that would look like, but I think these would be a really good resource, and I would really like to try these more. So I've also seen people do on the side over here, I tried this box. Other people will highlight actual lines with the color and then write on top of that, and I think that's a really nice look, so that's maybe something you can try too. Alright, so these are the Papermate gel pens, and I heard a lot about these my first year in college or so I finally bought them last fall, and they're really awesome. I especially like the purple, and I want to try them out in my Bible. So you can kind of see here the difference in the tip size between these ones and the other ones I used yesterday. I don't know the exact size, but I know it is quite a bit larger. So yeah, let's give them a shot. So overall, I really do like these. They're really nice and bright. They glide really nicely, write really well. The point is a little larger than I tend to choose for myself personally, but they're not bad. So if you like that, then that's great. Again, with a pen, awesome underlining, but of course can't highlight if that's something you want to do. I think the main downside is they do have a pretty decent bleed through, but it's good to keep in mind again that the Bible pages are pretty thin, so anything kind of liquid like this, that's probably going to be expected. But I do really like these, and I think they could be a really good tool. I just wanted to share my last two methods with you, and I just really hope that you've enjoyed this video, and make sure to keep watching for the last few ideas. Bye. Our last two mediums are markers and sticky notes. So these are just standard Crayola wide tip markers from Walmart, super easy to find. I'm very interested to see how the bleed through is on these ones because I'm worried about it. So with the markers, you can already see that this one definitely bleeds through. I think that's just how it's gonna be with some of these markers, so keep that in mind. With these more wide tip ones I have, I'm not gonna get a lot of writing in a lot of space, but that kind of works out today because it's a perfect time to show you where you can use the sticky notes. And I may switch to not writing with the markers where it's going to use up all my space, but I'll do a little more so that you can kind of see that. I want to show you an example of a place where I used sticky notes previously when I ran out of space and wanted to continue writing. So I wrote all of this and I wanted to focus on a point here and not take up the whole side of the margin, so I used some sticky notes. And the sticky notes can be super handy to either add on to what you already have if you've run out of space like I did there, but they can also be great if you're not yet comfortable writing on your actual Bible pages. You could put a sticky note on top, and that way you can still write, but you don't have to feel upset or worried about writing on your Bible pages, or maybe you just don't even have space in your Bible. It's not a journaling Bible, you don't have margins. Use some sticky notes. I've also seen some translucent sticky notes, and with those, you could put that right over the text without damaging it whatsoever, and then it can look like you're writing and underlining and circling right on your text, but you're actually not, and you're still preserving those pages just the way they are. So if that's something you think would be really awesome for you and you're not yet comfortable writing on your actual Bible, which is totally fine, by the way, you don't have to do that if that's something you're not comfortable with, then this might be something you want to look into. Or just putting them on the side in the margins. You can use all different sizes. If you like colors, you can use colors, or you can just use some super basics. And we're going to experiment with that a little bit today. So hopefully you can see all of this all right. You can see the bleed through from some of that marker is pretty bad. Not my favorite ever, but it's okay. Especially some of those highlighting ones, I had to go over it a few times to get it to cover the whole line, and you can see that bleeding through was quite a bit. But honestly, it's actually better than I expected. I was expecting a lot more bleed through, and if I had a finer tip marker for underlining and circling and writing, it really wouldn't be that bad at all. I was expecting it to be worse. So if this was all you had on hand and you really wanted colors, I don't think it's a bad option at all. If you're using sticky notes, you can write in the margins with the sticky notes. You can see larger ones or smaller ones depending on how much you want to write or use, and I think using a big sticky note is a really great option, especially if you are using the markers. I do like the sticky notes so that you can add more space or even maybe put a specific point on a specific verse. You can, of course, if you're running out of space, right next to a paragraph, write something higher up and draw arrows. I've seen a lot of people do that, but I haven't had a lot of problems with running out of space because my pens write very small. So one more idea that you could utilize, either if you're running out of space instead of sticky notes, in addition to sticky notes, or again, if you don't want to write on your actual Bible, is to use a note card, and then you can literally just paper clip it right onto your page wherever you want. It's not going to ruin your Bible page. That's not writing on your Bible page. You can put it on any part of your page. I think this is a really great option, and you could also just stick it like right in the spine thingy here. I don't know what this is called, but you can stick it right in there if you don't even want to paper clip it. And I just think this is really great if you want to have a lot of space to write with, especially again if you don't want to write on your pages, or even if you don't feel comfortable sticking anything to your pages. Just writing on a note card like this can really work great. So I like this. I love the sticky notes. I really don't mind the markers. The bleed through is a little annoying if I was going to go onto the back side, but I've had worse. So in review, we used the markers, the sticky notes, we used colored pencils, the thin pens, Sharpie highlighters, we used just a regular pen and a pencil, we used crayons, which I wasn't a huge fan of, and we used the gel pens. I think, like I said, my least favorite was the crayons, just because of the way they were so waxy on the paper. I just really didn't like that. And my most favorite was, of course, the pencils and just a regular pen. I think I really like that. And I also was very happily surprised with the Sharpie highlighters. I think those are a win, and I will definitely use those again. I really hope that, this helped you guys. Hopefully you have one of these at home that you can use and enjoy using if you don't want to go buy a whole bunch of really expensive stuff, which for starting out isn't really worth it in my opinion, because you don't need it. Colored pencils are my favorite one, and how much do those cost me? I don't know, like $12 maybe or less. I really have no idea. I can check the price, but the point being, I think that you can do a lot with just your easy Walmart supplies, stuff you already have at home, stuff your kids have in their school backpacks. So not that you should take your child's school supplies, but you could use something similar. Anyway, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it was somehow helpful for you and that you got a better idea of what you would feel comfortable using in your Bible, and hopefully there was something for you, because I really want you guys to feel comfortable whether you are writing straight up in it, highlighting straight up in it, or just using sticky notes and note cards to add that element of writing but not actually writing in your Bible, or even just writing in a journal, because those are also awesome. So thanks so much for coming. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like it, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe for more Bible journaling videos, and comment down below which option you think you're most likely to try or use, or what your favorite method is that's super easy to use, or if you think there's a product worth investing in, let us know, because maybe we'll check it out. If you have any other Bible journaling or Bible related videos that you'd like to see, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.